Happy New Year to fans of the Los Angeles Lakers and only fans of the Los Angeles Lakers. Welcome to the Laker Central Podcast. I'm your host, Alex. Please follow me on social media at LakerCentral365 and tell every Laker fan you know about this podcast. Today is my first episode for 2020, so I want to say thank you for listening and all of your support. And on today's show, I'm going to talk about the Darren Collison rumors and our guard rotation. So let's just jump right into things. On January 1st, Woj reported that Darren Collison was considering a return to the NBA, and it would likely be to one of the LA teams. So if you recall, Darren retired from the Pacers this summer, citing wanting to do more things with his faith and helping other people. And there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I salute anyone that's out there giving their time, their money, anything that they can give to help someone be better. So I salute Darren Collison on that front. But before he retired, there were many teams planning on making a run at him in free agency, and I, for one, wanted the Lakers to do so as well. Now, Collison likely would have made $10+ million per year had he not retired, and he was a hot commodity on the market. So now we hear that he's considering a comeback, and this puts both LA teams in another showdown. We know that both LA teams want Andre Iguodala. That is a conversation for another podcast. But all signs point to, if Collison does actually come back, it'll be between the Clippers or the Lakers. Now, what's also of note is he's not going to come back before February 6th. And that's for a number of reasons. But the first and foremost is February 6th is this year's NBA trade deadline. And so when whatever team Collison goes to, Lakers or Clippers, either team will have to cut someone. But if Collison waits to make his decision, or at least to sign, after February 6th, what that will do is it'll give either team the ability to trade a player that they would otherwise cut. And so I would imagine going into February, he will have told whatever team that, hey, I want to play for you. And that'll give that team a few days to make some phone calls, seeing if they can get a trade. And if they can't, then they will cut whoever they need to make room for Collison. I think Collison can be a huge value for any team, and here's why. 1, he can create his own shot. 2, he plays the pick and roll. 3, he plays defense. And 4, he can shoot from distance. I mean, he was a top 5 three-point shooter at 42.4% over the last 5 seasons. The only players that shot better than him with at least 500 attempts: Joe Harris, Seth Curry, Steph Curry, and JJ Redick. So he can really help this Laker team. We've got some deficiencies in our guard rotation. Our second unit could certainly use a competent point guard. And while there are people, taking shots on social media saying, Collison is not a savior, acting like Laker fans are treating Darren Collison like he's prime Chris Paul, we know he is not that. But what we also know is he's probably better than every other point guard on our team. So he could at least bolster our rotation and probably take some guys out who really shouldn't be in the rotation at all. So look, now you see why he's coveted. And now you see why he would have likely gotten $10+ million a season had he not retired over the summertime. So, that leads me into money, right? He passed up a large payday to follow his faith. So money might not be a huge motivator for him. But the Lakers do have a financial advantage. Both LA teams are over the cap, so we're basically looking at a vet minimum deal. That's what either team would offer him. But the Lakers have a trick up their sleeve. So as an example, if he signed on March 1st, the max the Clippers could offer him is $667,000, which is a prorated veteran minimum contract based on the number of years of service. Where the Lakers have the advantage is they can use their disabled player exception that they got when DeMarcus Cousins got injured, and that exception is worth $1.75 million. The best part about it is the DPE does not decrease, so the Lakers could pay him about $1 million more than the Clippers. And I'm not saying that that's that's going to be the deciding factor or enough to sway him either way, but it is a factor, big or large. The next thing to consider is his relationship with players on either team. So number one, he was at DeMarcus Cousins' wedding. So that's a really good thing. And I've said all along, go back to when Kobe got hurt and the Lakers gave him that max deal when he was hurt and they kept him around. The Lakers, they sent a message to the league all those years ago that they will take care of players. And you're seeing it again with DeMarcus Cousins because they could have easily cut DeMarcus Cousins when he got hurt, but they didn't. They kept him around. They're honoring the contract. They're letting him rehab on their dime. And I think that sends a message as well. But where it plays well here is that obviously he's friends with Darren Collison. And so then you also consider Bill Duffy, who was Collison's agent, and Duffy also reps Rondo and Bradley. So those are all really good things. Now on the flip, Bill reps Mo Harkless on the Clippers. So if you were to ask me, I'd say that's another example which the Lakers have the edge. And then he's played for Frank Vogel and Doc Rivers. So that's kind of a wash. But if you listen to what Matt Barnes had to say, who was a teammate of Collison's when they both played for the Clippers, Collison may not be too high on Doc.
I would hesitate going to the Clippers, one, because when we were there together, I don't know how well him and Doc got along. And then two, with that second unit, with Darren with the ball, he's taking the ball to lose hands.
I'm not sure what Matt Barnes is referring to regarding Collison and Doc Rivers, but something is there. Now look, Collison is still considering them, at least that's according to Woj, so maybe it's water under the bridge. But it's interesting that Matt Barnes would bring that up. I mean, Barnes was at Cousins' wedding also, so he clearly knows, Darren Collison. So I know I covered a lot, but what I'm going to do is take a quick break, and then I'm going to kind of dig back into what the fit might look like if he joined the Lakers or the Clippers. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Lakers Central. I'm your host, Alex. Please make sure you're telling everybody you know that's a Lakers fan about this podcast. Spread the word. All right, I really appreciate you if you're listening right now, and I'd really appreciate it if you tell everybody about the show. So back to business. Darren Collison. So look, regarding fit, right? Collison was really good last year, and I think he'd be a good fit for any team. I mean, dude can play. So, but I think the Lakers not only need him more, I also think that he's a better fit than with the Clippers. So if you consider the Lakers guard rotation, Bradley and Green, they normally start. And frankly, that may remain the same regardless if Collison joins the Lakers rotation or not. Frank Vogel just may like what he sees out of that first group, even though I think that he's got to look at that starting lineup because they're putting way too much pressure on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But that's neither here nor there. That's for another episode. But Bradley and Green usually start, and then you round out the rotation with Rondo, KCP, and Caruso. Cook and Daniels aren't cutting it, and they're basically out of the rotation. Now, KCP's been really good this year, and I think most of us would like to see Caruso get more minutes. So I could see a situation where Cook and Daniels, or one of them, are the odd man out in regards to Collison in terms of just joining the team. And then I think most sane Laker fans think that Collison should take most of Rondo's minutes. So, no matter how you slice it, no matter what, Darren Collison would be an upgrade to the rotation. When you look at the Clippers, on the other hand, they have a really solid guard rotation, and I'm not really sure where Collison fits. They start Pat Bev for defense, Landry Shamet for shooting. They bring Lou Will off the bench to score and run the pick and roll. And so I really don't know where Collison would fit. And I'm not sure how well he and Lou would fit together, coming off the bench. It could simply be that the Clippers want to keep him away from the Lakers. But again, who really knows? By the time you guys hear this podcast, it'll be after the Lakers take on the Pelicans. And so Alex Caruso will be out that game with tightness in his calf. And apparently he's been dealing with this issue since roughly November 23rd. So that probably that explains somewhat why he doesn't play as many minutes as some of us would like. But when you consider that, I mean, the Lakers are going to have issues with injuries. Every team's going to have injuries to their team, and our guard rotation is already not great. And so to lose Caruso for a game, or to have him play now for about a month and a half with a calf issue, the Lakers need to figure this out. And Rajon Rondo is playing roughly 21 minutes a night for the Lakers. Collison played 28 minutes a night when he was with the Pacers, and he was simply a better player. Rondo shoots 40% from the field. Collison shot 46% from the field. I mean, like, Collison can create his own shot. And so let me talk about that for a quick second. The Lakers, we just saw the Lakers go up 36 points against the Suns. And in the fourth quarter, they had to bring LeBron and Anthony Davis back in because the lead got down as far as 7. Now, and that's with Kuz giving them 19 off the bench. The Lakers could surely use another guy that can score the ball off the bench. And so Collison fits in a number of ways. One, Collison can play with LeBron James. When LeBron doesn't want to be the primary ball handler, setting the offense up, Collison can do that. When LeBron goes to the bench, Collison can play pick and roll with Anthony Davis. And one of the reasons we're not seeing the Lakers be successful pick and roll with Anthony Davis, or as successful as one should be with someone like Anthony Davis, is that the Lakers don't have any guards that can run the pick and roll that are a scoring threat. So when you run the pick and roll of AD, and let's say Danny Green and KCP can't dribble, so that's number one. If you're running it with Rondo, you know Rondo's thinking pass first. He's not looking to score. So teams are falling back and falling back into AD space, where otherwise maybe you could get a lob out of it, or get a nice pocket pass or a bounce pass or whatever. Or maybe if you decide to go under the screen and stay closer to AD, now someone like Collison is a scoring threat, either from the mid-range, from 3. He's a scoring threat that drives to the rim if you go over the screen. So Rondo is not any of these things. And this isn't I'm going to bash on Rondo. I have said since the offseason that Rondo had value, specifically in his mind. He can see things that other players can't see. That's one of the things that made him really good in his prime. But at this point, the mental isn't translating to the physical stuff on the court. And so someone like Collison would just be a massive upgrade. And I'm reading this tweet from Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, and he echoes my sentiments. He basically says that Collison would be an immediate upgrade over Rajon Rondo for the Lakers. Collison doesn't turn the ball over as often, and shoots 45.8% on catch-and-shoot threes since 2015. If LeBron has the ball in his hands, and you've got a guy like Collison out there somewhere on the floor, maybe at the top of the three-point line, maybe Danny Green's in a corner, maybe KCP is in the other corner, or maybe Kuz is out there somewhere, like, he would be great next to LeBron James. The dude's a $10 million player, and if he decides to come back, we may get him for $1.7 million. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I hope that if he decides to come back, I hope it's with the Lakers. It's clearly the better fit. I think there's some redundancy with the Clippers and the guards that they already have. And the Lakers have to start getting better this way. I've said all season long the Lakers would have to get lucky, specifically in the buyout market. But they would have to get lucky in upgrading this team. And if Collison's considering coming back, and the Lakers are one of the 2 teams he's looking at, they are extremely lucky and extremely fortunate to be on his list. That also speaks to why it was important for this Lakers team to get off to such a great start. Because they are for real. They are absolutely for real. And I know we dropped a couple games to the Clippers and we dropped one to the Bucks. But in that Bucks game, Giannis shot 5 of 8, I believe, from three-point land. He shot 6 of like 23 since that game. That game was an outlier from three-point land. And the second game against the Clippers, we were up like 15, I believe, in that game. One of the biggest issues is when LeBron and Anthony Davis have to go to the bench, or maybe when they're not getting the shots that they want, or they're not scoring, the Lakers don't have very many other options to take the pressure off. And no one is expecting Collison to come in and be Steph Curry. But dude can get a basket. And sometimes just to even stop the bleeding, you need somebody that can get a basket. And what he may also do is take some of the pressure off of Kyle Kuzma with that bench unit. Because there are times where the Lakers look to Kuz to create things when LeBron and Anthony Davis aren't there, or even when Anthony Davis is on the court. And Kuz needs somebody else. He's not there yet. And just to give you guys a heads up, Shams is reporting that teams are doing their due diligence on Kyle Kuzma. They're calling the Lakers about Kyle Kuzma. And that should surprise nobody. Kuz's contract is so low. His production is so good. He still has some potential in him. Teams are going to call. And if I'm the Lakers, the only reason I trade Kyle Kuzma is if I'm getting back one or two really, really good pieces that are going to help me win this championship. Otherwise, it's all mute. There's just no reason to even entertain trading Kyle Kuzma. So, my thought process is this. The Lakers have to get better where they can get better. And if there's an opportunity to add Darren Collison, they damn sure better do it. And look, make no mistake, this doesn't leak if Rob Pelinka hasn't already been talking to Darren Collison. He's a free agent. Teams can talk. Any team can talk to him. Any team can call Bill Duffy. Clearly, it helps that the Lakers have DeMarcus Cousins on the team and other guys that might have a connection to Darren Collison. But I know fans are all thinking about Andre Iguodala. Get Andre Iguodala. I've even seen people make it seem like if they get Collison, they can't get Iguodala. Look, they can get both. But no matter what happens with Darren Collison, the only way we can get Andre Iguodala is if he's bought out. He earned $17 million this year. The Lakers do not have the assets nor the cap space to get him. He needs to be bought out. And that's the only way. So the Lakers got extremely lucky with Dwight Howard and how well he's played. They may get lucky again with Darren Collison. Maybe we get lucky and we end up getting Andre Iguodala. And it doesn't have to be Iguodala. I actually have a podcast coming out on Monday where I'm going to dig into some of the other pieces that I think the Lakers should take a look at and see if they could be a fit on this team. Because we have to continue to upgrade. We have holes. And I've been a Laker fan long enough to know you get a nice little trade, you get a nice guy in the buyout market, who knows what happens, and that just bolsters the team. And there are going to be veterans out there that want to go for a championship. And I also said this about Darren Collison. I tweeted this, and I want to make this point. Beyond, whatever financial incentives that the Lakers can give to him beyond the Clippers, or beyond whatever playing time there may be with the Lakers that might not be there with the Clippers, something that I think fans should all consider is that Darren Collison walked away from basketball so that he can help people. He could volunteer. He could give whatever he felt like he needed to give. Obviously, he wants to help people and spread whatever word he's looking to spread. Alex Caruso right now is one of the top vote getters for the All-Star game. Alex Caruso. If Darren Collison comes to the Lakers brand immediately increases his profile. And who knows, maybe that helps him help people in a way that he's looking for. Maybe that brings more attention to his cause. That is something that the Clippers cannot offer. They simply can't. The Lakers can offer more money, more playing time, and a larger platform. And I think the Lakers are the clear choice. But we'll find out one way or another. But I bet you Matt Barnes agrees with me, because here he is on the jump, giving his opinion on who Darren Collison should go with.
I think Lakers. I think he's someone that can get his own shot with that second unit, which they desperately need. Someone that can run the pick and roll, someone who plays both sides of the ball and can knock down that mid-range shot.
And there it is, folks. Let's end on that. I want to thank you guys for listening to my first show of the 2020 year. It is going to be a phenomenal year, and the Lakers are bringing home the championship. I said it. It is what it is. Really appreciate you listening to the show and being a follower of me on social media. But if you're not a follower, check me out at Laker Central 365. That's on every social media platform. Tell every Laker fan you know about the podcast. Subscribe and listen. And I got a new show coming out on Monday where we dig into potential trade targets and maybe buyouts that the Lakers could take advantage of. So until next time, I'm out.